are you a lifelong resident of this area?
I'm a lifelong resident of this area. I was born in Cooperstown. I grew up in Milford. Ellie! Yeah, start. Ellie! Hang on. Just come.
That's all right. Here, we'll get up.
Maybe she'll go down the cellar to open that door.
There you go. All right, yeah, let's do that. Here, what's in here, huh? He's like, I'm not falling for that. All right, well, we'll keep going here.
Okay, my name is James Powers. I was born in Cooperstown and raised in Milford, New York.
Yeah.
I went to Delhi Ag and Tech, and from there I went to Cornell University. I was employed on a farm in Interlake in New York where I met my wife, Pamela, and we moved back to this area and bought a farm in 1985. Okay. So we've milked cows for 40 years. Do you have any more questions? Do you want me to just keep going?
No, that was all good. Where is your farm in South New Berlin?
Our farm is on the back side of the river in South New Berlin. We have a 140-acre farm, 50-cow dairy farm that we recently dispersed, 2017. And now we have beef cows, we grow sweet corn, and I have 200 beehives that I send to California to do pollination and almonds.
All right. Now I understand you have some experience in local government?
Yes, I spent 18 years on the county board in Otsego County. I spent 2 of those as chairman. I served on every committee. By and large, I was on the Solid Waste and Environmental Concerns Committee, and spent a great deal of time on the Public Safety Committee. Those were the 2 areas that I was involved in quite a lot.
Okay. What would you say were some of your more significant accomplishments during your time on the board?
There were 2 things that I did that really stand out, I think. One is I worked to get Otsego County out of the Solid Waste Authority, MOSA, Montgomery Otsego Schoharie Authority. That was a very costly way to handle waste and recycling, and so we got out of that, and Otsego County does the recycling and the waste itself. I also started the initiative to put up a 911 telecommunications center so that our E911 service people and our police had much better communications than they used to have. Okay. Do you want that cat gone?
Oh, yeah, I'm tolerating her.
Okay, you can just bother me. Ginny, come on.
That's a fierce look.
Oh yeah.
So, why are you running for assembly?
I like being in public service. I like helping people. I think there's 3 areas that I really excel at. One is agriculture, since I am a dairy farmer. Education and our medical institutes, our hospitals and our nursing cares and those type of institutions. I think I could do very well helping to take care of those.
Did you have much of a chance to, during your time on the board, work with Assemblyman Crouch?
I really did not see much of Assemblyman Crouch except maybe at the very first part of the board. So no, I really didn't have much of a chance to work with Assemblyman Crouch.
What sort of skills do you think you possess personally that would make you good at this line of work?
Personally, I think that I have 3 children. My eldest son, Andrew, is a doctor in Bassett Hospital. My middle child, Ellie, and her husband, Kyle, have a small child, Oliver, and she's a teacher in Oxford. And my youngest is Alexis, and she's a veterinarian at the University of Madison, Wisconsin. So I think that I have the ability to understand what it would take to help the education department. I think that we have to start educating our children when they're very, very little. I don't think you can wait to high school. I think it has to start at home. I think we have to work with that to get these children in a mindset that they really want an education. And so I think I'd be very good in helping education, especially pre-K type situations. When it comes to our hospitals and nursing homes, I think that I have an insight there as well. And I think, they are the facilities I think this area has lent itself to, and I think we're very good at that. I would like to work there, and clearly agriculture is just second nature to me.
What would you see your role being? And I've interviewed Mr. Libis and Mr. Angelino as well, and I put the same question to them. Given that, Republicans are in the minority, especially in the assembly, how do you see yourself being able to actually affect change in Albany, since all the power seems to rest with the majority Democrats?
I think you have to be able to work with people, and I think there's an upstate and downstate divide that you have to bridge, and I think I'd be very good at doing that. I certainly appreciate cities and what they have to offer, the economy and cultural aspects of New York State. So I think they in turn would appreciate what rural New York State has to offer, the cultural aspects of the state, and I think that would be not only fun to do, but I think it might even be easy to do to work with those people.
Ultimately, why do you think, assuming that you're able to qualify, and so are the other two gentlemen for the primary, why do you think Republicans should choose you?
There's a couple things going on right now in the state that I think are of a concern. And number one, I'm a lifetime hunter. I have a lifetime hunting license, and I do a lot of hunting and fishing, so I understand the sportsman's concerns. I also understand as a landowner that Andrew Cuomo now wants to take away land rights. And I think permanently is his words in the State of the State address. And that's a big concern to landowners up here. And I think that unless you're a landowner, maybe you don't quite understand that. And I personally think that my oil, gas, and mineral rights belong to my grandson. I don't think they belong to Andrew Cuomo. And it is quite concerning the way he boasts that he's going to take them.
You mean, by extension, the fracking ban?
There you go.
Are you a supporter of fracking?
Absolutely. We should have done this 10 years ago, and then quite frankly, I was invited to go see a gentleman speak, and his concerns were that we should leave this for the grandchildren, we should wait till it's safe, and I think a lot of people bought into that we should wait till we know how this can be done safely. And we know that now, and now, Andrew Cuomo comes out and says we're just going to take the rights. And I think that's really a concern. I think it's an insult to the people who've waited so long and so patiently to simply say that now.
Do you feel, it seems like a dumb question.
No, there's no dumb questions.
But do you feel like you have particular insight into the challenges facing, in particular, dairy farmers currently?
Absolutely, and there's some of the questions I'd like to see answered. The marijuana. Are we going to grow marijuana in New York State? Who's going to get those licenses to do that? Hemp. Are we going to grow hemp in New York State? Who's going to get those licenses to do that? How are we going to have the facilities to manufacture and distribute? All these things need to be talked about, and yet I think people are somewhat fearful to bring them up for open discussion, and I am not. So I think there's many, many, many things you could do with agriculture in New York State, from enhancing products to more of it, to trying to get it niche farming going that would sell products to New York City. And I think those things could be done if someone would just work on it.
All right. So what's your strategy going forward? How do you plan to sort of? Obviously, my understanding is next week petitions start. Have you established a sort of group of campaign volunteers to go door to door? All of that.
I do have the endorsement from Otsego County, and those people will be carrying petitions. And so those people and myself and a few others will go out and get the signatures. It's really not that big of an obstacle to go with the 500 signatures. That can be done.
All you need is 500.
500. You should have a couple of 200-300 extra just to be safe.
Of course.
But you need 500, and that's can be done.